Hey there, welcome to SmartFlix. Are you getting bored of online learning? Well, almost everyone is. So don't worry because SmartFlix is here. That's right, we're here and we'll be there for you. So let's get started with our today's video. So today we're doing story writing. So now story writing can become pretty much irritating topic when it comes to getting interesting themes. Basically your teacher asks you to write a story that is interesting and you will have a blank page ahead of you. So now to write something on it, we're here for you. So what to do for an interesting story? A cool heading, interesting scenes throughout the story, and an unexpected ending. Now these are the general things, but the methods I'm going to give you today are going to be really useful for you, or that is if you apply them correctly. Trailer method and real life method. So I'll just tell you about what are these methods and how will you use them. So before you write your story, create an image in your head about how will your story be. And then now you can use your methods by dividing them into three parts: introduction, plot, and in the ending. So now you can use the trailer method to create an interesting plot. You can almost create an interesting plot to make it even better, because sometimes plots just don't go well. You can use this method, and real life method can basically be used for making better introductions and endings. It can also be used in your plot if you're willing to. So now real life method can also be called visualization method, which is what mostly people skip. All you have to do for this thing is provide descriptions in your story regarding the situations and the scenario of the key character, that is your main character. And what is the benefit of providing that? The benefit is that the reader will be able to easily visualize it, and your story will be more like a movie playing in their head, and they will stick to your story, and that means more marks. And trailer method, how will you do this thing? Take a notebook and take a pen. Note down 5 trailers that you like from YouTube. Now, what is the use of those trailer names? All you have to do is remember the themes and the characters, and which one fits the best in your story. You can copy them, but not completely copy. Change them. So I'll have a story here in which I will show you about how I did this. The Lost Soul. So this is a mystery theme title. Readers just love mystery themes titles. I myself read books and I just love mystery. And also mystery theme titles can also force the reader to stick to your story even if the introduction is not much good. But if that is they expect that the plot will have some good twist, so you have to live by their expectations. Now moving on, how did I provide the visualization using real life method? All I thought by making an image in my head and describing it. Once upon a time there was an 8-year-old one-legged, depressed, abandoned boy named Jimmy. He was living in the Saint Anna orphanage. Jimmy liked the look of the orphanage as it had a nice white marble staircase leading to the main door of the orphanage. The entrance walls were white and had Saint Anna written in black on both sides of the walls. The orphanage's rooms were also white and were equal to the office of a CEO of a company. So here I've given a description about how the orphanage looked like and what the rooms inside the orphanage looked like, the color, the size. So pretty much now you have a rough idea of how the orphanage looked, and also by how our character is, that he's handicapped, depressed, and abandoned. So you could pick these themes for your characters, that they were abandoned, depressed, and that they're handicapped. These are some rare themes that you can get for your character. If you use them, you can get better marks. So here I've given further description about what happens in the orphanage, just so that the story just does not become predictable. Your story should be unpredictable. Please keep that in note. Otherwise, there's no benefit of writing a story. The sisters provided meals at meal times, and they also used to teach the orphans from morning to afternoon. So now I've given a little bit of description about what the sisters do, also about what the kids do, the orphans do. They play in a big court which had football, basketball, and baseball courts in it. But here our main character is different. He has a different sort of character. Jimmy during those times used to sit in his room, which was the only dark room in the orphanage, studying till night. So he had the only dark room and he always studied till night. So let's move on. His only wish to God was to never get adopted because of his parents, who abandoned him when he was just born. Luckily, Sister Anna found him crying in the street. So I've given a backstory here just so that the readers will know about why was he so depressed. You must not leave you must not leave the main things, because if you give the character a theme, then if possible there should be a reason for it, because why would you give a reason that he's handicapped? He was just made that way. But you can give a reason for why was he depressed. Every night he used to go in the bathroom and cry, wondering why was he abandoned. He also hated everyone in his orphanage, as everyone treated him differently, more like a shadow. So our character here has been treated differently than others. 2 years. So here our plot starts. So far, I have given a describing introduction, which clearly gives you a picture about how our character lives, what is the way of living, how he lives in the orphanage, and also about how other people in the orphanage live around him, and how his orphanage looked like. So now our plot starts here. 2 years had passed that Jimmy never became an option for adoption, and one day he was considered an option by the Smiths, who were a very rich family. Jimmy prayed 100 times in his mind for not getting adopted, but his luck ran out. The Smiths gave him an iPad and an iPhone, but Jimmy was just looking for an escape route. God, who would not want an iPad and an iPhone, or rich family? I mean, everything would be luxurious. But no, I have added a twist here that he was looking for an escape route. I mean, obviously, you'll be like, come on, man, why did you do this? But still, we have a new twist here that Jimmy does not care about luxuries. He wants to be free. So here comes the plot. So now I'll just tell you the theme of it in the end of this slide. On Christmas morning, he asked his father to go outside and he took Jimmy to the park, and that's when Jimmy found a ball. So then he kicked it out of the park intentionally, just so that when he would go to get it, he could escape, and indeed his plan worked and he was free. So now I have said that now he has a plan now that how will he escape, that he would kick a ball in the park and run away. So I picked this theme from Home Alone, in which Kevin did not like his family because they treated him differently on small. So accidentally he was left behind when they were all going for boarding flights, and Kevin was left behind, and then he was alone, home alone. So now I picked the same theme that he except that our character here ran away and not left by and it was not left by a mistake. He did it intentionally, but Kevin did not. That was a complete accident. So now I copy the same theme that now Jimmy is alone. Same for Kevin. He was home alone, and but except for poor Jimmy, he's homeless right now. So he finally saw the outside world after roaming around for 4 hours. Ah, this is the life I want, says Jimmy after stopping near a beach. Now he was hungry, so he asked an adult man for some food, but that man, he looked at him in an angry way and said, "Go away, boy, why shall I give you my food?" So Jimmy is now a beggar because he was starving, so the first request he gave was rejected. So here I added something more that now he's hungry. Obviously, you can't skip these parts. I mean, you have to think about the whole thing about how will he survive after he's alone. Jimmy begged every person he saw, but everyone just avoided him. Poor Jimmy now walking in the cold, starving and thinking that why did he ever wanted to leave that family? At least they cared for him. So now he realizes his mistake. So this is what I did. Basically, mostly every story has some realizing part, but ours is going to be different. Just wait for it. So now he was ready to go back, but his problems just became worse when his some street dogs started chasing him after he bumped into one of them. So here I just did not just directly say that he realized his mistake, be happy with what you have, there's the moral, and that's it, happy ending. No, I still needed to add something more because that was predicted. So now this was unpredicted after until you saw this line that now he was ready to go back, but his problem just became worse. And also I gave a reason why the dog started chasing him, because he bumped into him. It's not like just he saw the dog saw him and they started chasing. He ran for his life, although he had no energy. Of course, he didn't have any food, and then, he was bitten. The dogs were still trying to harm him until Jimmy's father found him and took him to the hospital. His family was terrified. The doctor said that his case is critical as he was bitten too many times. So I gave a reason why his case was critical. Try and give reasons for things that you can, because that's what readers want to know more about, the reasons about why the thing had happened. Otherwise, because they have no one else to ask, right? So it's better if you mention that in the story. His mother cried when she heard chances are that he might not survive from the doctor's mouth. Okay, so that's pretty much not such a good scenario. So I just gave out some terrifying moment. 2 days now, and Jimmy still had not responded. He was declared to be unconscious after another day. I picked this part from another movie, which was from Bean, in which one of their daughters were unconscious. So I picked this part from there, but I just changed it instead of that because it's been 2 days and there was no such accident like that. Because in that she was going in a motorcycle and had an accident, but here our character was bitten and was chased. Jimmy's family praying to God for his recovery. One more day had passed that he gave no response. Now the doctor had no choice but to declare Jimmy dead. While his death certificate was being ready, his family was broken into pieces looking at the dead son. The van came in and Jimmy's body was taken to the burial spot. So now, an emotional moment has been added in my story just so that it doesn't go forward with it. So obviously the family has been pretty much terrified looking at their dead son. A breathing sound coming all of a sudden when his family rushed towards the breathing corpse until Jimmy opened his eyes, wondering where was he and what was happening. So now they heard the Jimmy's corpse breathe. But sometimes corpses breathe, so that's why an extra line here that his eyes opened, because corpses breathe sometimes, and when his eyes open it's pretty much sure that yes, he's alive now. So his family was relieved and his death certificate was cancelled. I did not leave this thing because otherwise he would still be dead scientifically, and he was kept for inspection for a day, so the doctors definitely might have wanted to check his health. After the inspection day had passed, the doctors allowed him to go. On reaching his home, Jimmy asked for forgiveness to God and his family for running away. The next day, Jimmy and his whole family celebrated a proper Christmas and happy Christmas. So now he said that he realized his mistake and now that he asked for forgiveness, and now his whole family celebrates a very happy Christmas. Obviously he ran away on Christmas. So I'm pretty much sure that you're clear with the methods. Just to say again, try and provide as much description as much as you can, but not too much because otherwise your story will be boring. But provide at least so that you, even if you read it, you'll be able to create a picture of your story in your head, and that use the trailer method if you are not able to create an interesting plot by picking up the themes of another movie or another story maybe you might have heard, and by just changing the scenes and the situation of the characters. Thanks for watching this video. Please share and subscribe this video. Also hit the like button, and also don't forget to tap on the notification bell for more videos that I will upload. And also please tell me in the comments below whether these methods were useful for you and whether which topic should I upload in the next video.